Stand by alert. Death Star approaching. Estimated time to fire range.
Welcome, listeners, to episode 267 of the Skyhoppers podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ben, and I'm joined only by my lovely co-host, Dakota.
Hi, happy Star Wars Day.
And that is why, obviously, it's great that I'm here with Dakota. I love Dakota. This is going to be good, but it is May the 4th, which, if I can be a little pedantic, I don't think should be Star Wars Day, but whatever.
It's just a bad pun.
It is just a bad pun. Star Wars Day is May 25th.
Yes.
But whatever. I don't need a reason to celebrate. It's kind of like people who celebrate... Those people who celebrate Halloween from, like, Labor Day onwards.
Okay, no. I'm not going to go there with like you that. Because I am that.
I don't need a reason to celebrate.
I did... Well, I always like to celebrate. I did, every time someone wished me a happy Star Wars Day, think that, and I successfully never said it out loud. I will actually know one today.
And let me be clear, I'm just poking fun. Obviously, May the 4th, it's funny, it's fun.
I do kind of appreciate that, like if I don't know, it just feels like it's become a bigger thing now than it used to be.
Oh, for sure.
And
for sure.
I think that's kind of fun, especially like everybody. I don't know. It was just cute how many people at work told me specifically, because they know happy Star Wars Day, and it was cute.
It is funny because I feel like probably around like 2010 is when I first started to notice it. It's like, that's when like it became a hashtag, and like with the rise of social media. So yeah, this definitely wouldn't have happened. I think, certainly not 20 years ago. Well, maybe 20 years ago, Attack of the Clones was coming out. But so Star Wars was still alive and well, but 15 years ago, so not that Star Wars needs too much help staying in the public eye.
Yeah,
but it is kind of nice when the normies come out of the woodwork from time to time.
For sure,
as long as they don't tell me what they think. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know. Most normies have better Star Wars opinions than I do, if we're being honest.
Well,
because they just know how to enjoy them. They just know how to enjoy themselves. I did read an article on Polygon today that scared me. It did scare me because it was entitled. The title was something to the effect of why Star Wars needs more moral ambiguity. And I'm just like, don't do it. Don't do it. If the word Grey Jedi is in this article, I'm going to scream. Thankfully, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It mostly focused on like DJ, and even how like Din Djarin is. We look at him as a good guy, but he's not just a good guy. He's like out for himself and Grogu. He's not just out, out for
the good of the universe.
Right. He didn't get roped up in all of that, like, intentionally. It felt like he was backing up for that. So, he didn't even want to help the like Bo-Katan.
Yeah,
he's like, I don't want to do this. You're all heretics. I don't want to do this.
Y'all aren't even wearing your helmets.
It was in the you probably haven't had time. Disney Gallery, Book of Boba Fett.
No, I haven't watched that.
You haven't watched it?
I still haven't watched the last 2 episodes of Moon Knight. But yeah, I need to watch that too, for sure.
It was good. I liked it a lot. It's hard because on the one hand, it's nice to see it's nice to see some of the thought processes behind some of the decision making. The problem is they didn't seem not the problem. This is expected behavior, not a bug. They only just spoke very highly of losing episodes 5 and 6 to stories that were completely different than Boba Fett. And it's like, of course they did. Of course.
Yeah. Because that's the story they told that they wanted to tell.
Right. And I didn't realize how... I'm not going to... not that I can spoil behind-the-scenes stuff.
A documentary.
Like, yeah, I won't speak too deeply to it. Just so you get to watch it. But I didn't realize the depth of Mark Hamill's involvement in that episode, in episode 6. And I don't know, episode 5, obviously I just have fewer problems with in general. But no, it was nice. It was nice. It's hard to know that, like, okay, there were, this wasn't all, there were parts of this that weren't received super well. Like, parts were criticized. But whenever I hear the creators talking about it in their kind of sanitized documentary way, I'm just like, this is great. I love this. These people care about what they're doing. And that's, as I've said, at the end of the day, that's what I care about the most. Is just that the people working on it care about what they're doing. And that it's not just content. But it's good. Definitely worth the watch.
Excited to watch that.
I will definitely worth the watch.
Get to that,
if not just for Tamora Morrison and to hear him and his bits and Ming-Na Wen's bits are both very good, because it's funny to see Ming-Na Wen like be like bubbly and happy, like oh my god, I love Star Wars, because Fennec Shand is the biggest buzzkill. She never smiles.
And her other main role that I've seen her in is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she's also not bubbly in that. So, like, she's very similar to Fennec Shand. So, yeah, I am excited to see that.
No, it's a lot of fun. Dave Filoni, I wish I could remember what it was. It's not even worth telling this part of this bit. Dave Filoni at one point said something that was, like, not in a cancelable way, but in just like kind of an in-universe Star Wars way, said something that was so tone deaf. I'm just
no,
what are you talking about? And I wish I could remember what it was, but I hope it stands out to you too. It was very funny. No, again, there's not much more to say about it. I did think it was a ton of fun. I also discovered something today that I think I knew about, but I guess I'd forgotten about. Star Wars Galaxy of Sound.
Is that...
Are you familiar with that?
I don't know what that is.
It's, I think, 7 episodes of roughly 5 to 8 minutes in length that show just various clips of some particularly, like, interesting shots, like effects shots from the movies, with all the dialogue and music removed. It's just background noise and sound design.
What?
And I'd never heard of this. I just searched Star Wars, just out of curiosity. I searched Star Wars on my torrent website, and that one season was one of the first things to come up.
Interesting.
And
is that
I had
on
no idea.
Disney Plus, or
yeah, it's a Disney Plus thing. And it's one of those things.
Why have I not heard of this?
I don't know. It's one of those things that just like, are you gonna sit down and like watch it repeatedly? Probably not. Is it still cool? Do I still want it for my collection? Yeah. Absolutely. And it does. I will say it does give you a different appreciation for this kind of thing. Each one ends with like this series is like dedicated to showcasing the hard work that the sound design and the effects teams that work on these projects, all the work that they put in. And for, part of me is just like, well, I wish you would kind of publicize this more.
Yeah.
Because obviously Star Wars is not Star Wars without these people, but it's very cool. It's very cool.
Oh,
definitely
this is
worth checking
really
out.
Cool. It looks like
Did you
there's
pull it
7
up?
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 7 episodes, and they're like they're all themed about different
Yep.
things. So there's like a dark side, a light side, a droid episode. It looks like that one's about ships. I don't
It's very
know
easy to just
that
kind of get
one.
lost. It's easy to just kind of get lost in it because I kind
Yeah.
of thought like, oh, I got some work to do. I didn't know this existed. I'll put it on the background. I just found myself watching it. I'm just
Yeah.
like, because you're looking at it from a completely different perspective. It's hard to divorce Star Wars from the actors playing the characters that we love more than anything,
Mhm.
and John Williams scores or Ludwig
Yeah.
Göransson scores. It's like
Uh-huh.
you can't divorce it from the Star Wars music. You can't.
For sure.
So when it's presented there,
Yeah, it's fascinating.
it is. It's very cool. And if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. Additionally, there were a few shots in the Book of Boba Fett Disney gallery where they had removed the music and kind of the background, or mostly just the music. One shot I'm thinking of in particular is from The Empire Strikes Back. They removed the music, and it's just you just don't realize there's like music playing, like it feels like at all times.
Yeah.
In Star Wars. And it's just, maybe it's because we've seen the movies so many times, but it's like when there's not music playing or when the music is removed, it's like, oh my God, this is like a different freaking movie, even if everything else is in place. But yeah, sorry. That's I went on a Disney
cool.
Plus journey today.
Yeah. A good one.
Yeah. Did you get up to anything special? I mean, you bought a car today, but that's not particularly Star Wars related.
I did have a Star Wars party at work. So for the teens, and I had 11 teens show up. That was exciting. That's
fun.
like that's as high as we get in this pandemic era of library programming.
That feels like a respectable number pretty much no matter what.
I mean, there were programs before COVID where we were getting 40 teens. So
at least they're being responsible. They're staying safe.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not begrudging anyone for still not going to library programs. But yeah, we had 11. We watched like random episodes of every Star Wars TV show. We just had them playing in the teen area. Yeah, it was. We started with The Mandalorian, watched some Clone Wars, some Bad Batch. We watched Tatooine Rhapsody. It was great.
No comment.
Everyone was gone after that, so I didn't get to Resistance, but we watched an episode of everything else.
Everyone was gone after that, or everyone was gone because of that?
No, they didn't know. It was coincidence. I saved it for last because it was the one I wanted to watch the least. But I still haven't finished that show. I want to. I just haven't.
Really?
It's hard.
Which one have you
it's
not?
hard for me.
What have you not watched yet?
How many? I don't even know. I still have Disney Plus up, so I can just tell you.
Have you not watched the last 3
of Resistance?
Oh, Resistance! I thought you were talking about Visions.
No.
I was like, Dakota, what the heck? Come on!
No,
I haven't finished Resistance yet. I haven't finished Resistance. Yeah, we're on the same page.
Okay, yeah, I'm on like episode 7. I want to finish it so bad, but I just can't get into it. I don't like any of the characters. It's really hard for me.
Well, see, I just think that Resistance is a show that I think we could do some sort of. I think if we could all get to a point where we finished it, I think we could all do a deep dive on it one of these days because I think it's an interesting show, kind of for more reasons than one, and not necessarily for in-universe reasons, because that is the big bummer for me, and what keeps me from really, really going hard to finish it is that I watched the first season. I enjoyed the first season. I think it's a good show, but it's taking place in a time period that feels like it's kind of, it's retreading time that we've already seen elsewhere in the galaxy. It is The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And it's over. And they seem loath to develop this period of time outside of the Lego Star Wars games, which again are retellings of things that we've already seen. It's hard to get invested in the sequel trilogy era because it just feels like they want to sweep it under the rug. And I don't want to be pessimistic because I think, I love Rise of Skywalker. I love all three of those movies for different reasons. And I just feel it hurts to see them just ignoring it. Do you agree that they're really?
Oh yeah,
they
for
really
sure.
Are just not doing anything with it at all.
I need them to start releasing books and comics in that era, because while the movies were coming out, I cared about that era so much. And like The Last Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. I want to see more of these characters, or like at least see more of this, get more world building for what's going on then, but we just haven't gotten that at all. And I just hope that one day it'll feel better because we'll have those books and comics.
But I don't know if it was I don't know if it was last week or if it was on a Bro Skywalker at one point. We kind of talked about like, hopefully it doesn't take as long. These kids that watch these movies don't have to grow up before we get to see more of this.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't
take a full 12 years.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I'm assuming that give it a little time and they'll, because Rogue Squadron is supposed to take place post Rise of Skywalker. So I think roughly somewhere in there.
And I forget, Shadow of the Sith. Is that what that book's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's edging in on that era.
Right.
So I hopefully we'll just keep getting more, and that will feel a lot better. Yeah,
because even, we talked briefly about some things in Star Wars and After Hours that I, wasn't a huge fan of. Dakota has not experienced and therefore cannot comment on. I'm glad it all exists one way or the other. And I think that it's something is everybody's thing. And it just sucks that, there are, swaths of sequel trilogy fans that are just being completely, they're ignoring these characters. They're ignoring the people that love them. They're ignoring this setting. I mean, heck, just do post Return of the Jedi Legends, but with the sequel trilogy characters. Like, just do it.
It's fine. We're okay with it.
You've got First Order holdouts, and Rey is starting up her Jedi. Finn and Rey are Jedi, and just do it.
Throw Mara Jade in there. Give Rey a girlfriend.
It writes itself.
It does. It's written itself. It wrote itself.
I don't know. It's frustrating. Speaking of Legends, this is actually, I'm sorry to go back to Disney Gallery. There was actually, not only was there they cut to a cover of Tales from Jabba's Palace at one point. They cut to the cover and that image was on screen. That in and of itself feels huge.
Yeah.
What feels huger is at one point they cut to the cover of the first Young Jedi Knights book. And I was like, no way. They did it. They acknowledged that these books exist.
Yes.
And it's just that was very
heartwarming.
Fun to me. As a huge fan of those books. That was very fun to me. But I'm glad your program went well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you scared everyone away with Tatooine Rhapsody.
Nope, that was the second thing we watched. And it was great. We also did some Jedi training, which involves making a lightsaber out of a pool noodle and duct tape. And then had a little competition to see who could use the Force and their lightsabers to keep a balloon in the air the longest.
The Force and their lightsabers.
Yes. And we had some cosmic brownies and blue milk.
Did you
just
milk with food coloring?
Yes.
That's fun.
Regular milk and almond milk.
Oh, that's even better. I haven't purposely drank real milk in forever. Yeah. I'm not like, I don't avoid it, but I just don't. It just feels weird to me now to drink it.
Yeah. That's how I feel exactly. Like, if something has milk in it, that's fine.
Sure, whatever.
I'll eat it. But I'm gonna side eye you if you drink a glass of regular milk in front of me.
Not to go too far down the milk rabbit hole. Almond milk, you can buy a thing of almond milk. It's good for a month and a half.
Exactly.
It's good forever.
I could never go through
regular milk. You crack that. You crack that top. It's bad. It's done. It's dead. And it's like, do you like that one?
I got a little wine in my nose. It's fine.
But I don't know. I'm glad your program went well.
Yeah.
Over the last, I mean, obviously, if you couldn't tell, listeners, we don't really have a topic this evening. Just sat down to talk about Star Wars. As for my Star Wars day, I had to go into work for a meeting. We have a monthly team meeting that actually I had to go in for.
In person?
Yeah, and I don't love it, but honestly, it's not so bad because my boss is like, oh, well, or the official policy is just like, commute time doesn't count for work time. So like whatever time you spend commuting to the meeting, you got to make that time up. But my boss has always been like, is your work done? Did you get all your assigned tasks done for the day? If so,
that's good.
You're done at 5. Like, you're done.
Yeah.
So, I lost half an hour, 40 minutes to commuting today, which was nice. But anyway, I wore my Star Wars shirt. This one.
Good.
One of my bandmates picked it up at the thrift store for me. I don't even know him that well.
Nice.
It's just cool of him to do that. I wore this. I was like practically like baiting Star Wars comments. Not a one.
What?
Not one. I even mentioned at one point I had some trouble getting into the building when I got to work. And my boss said the closest thing was my boss said, "What'd you use the Force to get in?" That was it. That was the only thing I got all day from anybody.
That's wild. Like 5 librarians wished me specifically a happy Star Wars day.
I didn't get anything. So I felt bad. I came home. Yeah. Well, first I got some Burger King for lunch because I've been craving an Impossible Whopper so badly since last week. But I got Burger King for lunch, came home, popped on Attack of the Clones because that movie came out 20 years ago this year.
It did.
And I was like, instead of just watching A New Hope for the millionth time, which of course is my Star Wars Day tradition normally, I'll just watch that one on the actual Star Wars Day in a few weeks. Or I won't because I'll be at Celebration. Maybe I will. I don't know. But I watched Attack of the Clones, and this sounds so corny, but I gotta tell you, when you let that movie when you get invested in it and you let yourself fully just get taken away by it.
Oh yeah.
The second half of that movie is some top tier Star Wars.
It's so good. I love that movie.
I will admit, first half, a little slow, a little bit kind of like, not bad.
I'll admit that it's slow, but it's slowly giving me everything I want.
kind of like how you were watching the Batman and we're like, oh, Ben's gonna love this movie because it's slow and plotting. And it's like, that's kind of how Attack of the Clones feels at the beginning. But then as soon as they get to Tatooine, it just goes off the rails in a good way.
Does.
It is like the stuff with Obi-Wan is good, but I think what really slows it down is Anakin and Padme in the first half of the movie.
And I am so invested, and I love it so much. So that's why that's my favorite.
It's like it hit me a little different this time. It hit me different. I was watching it and just tried to, and again, like made the conscious effort to, well, as much as you can do. I was working at the same time, but it's like made the conscious effort as much as I could to be like, I'm not going to cringe at the dialogue. I'm not going to cringe at the writing. I'm going to try to feel what the characters are feeling.
Yeah.
And your mileage may vary, listeners. But in that headspace, I was like, no, this sucks. Like, this is bad for them. Like, they both want this thing and they can't have it.
It really gets me.
I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I know
you are. It kills me. I love them so much, and it doesn't like. Whew, I just read Queen's Hope, and they're like the first half of the book. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's the first quarter of the book is the day of their wedding and the adventure they go on before their wedding. And wow, it killed me. That book is so good. Ugh. Highly recommend. I love the two of them so much.
I think Obi-Wan is obviously great. I just think it's I don't know if you ever saw that Tumblr post that was like talking about Obi-Wan walking in and finding the clone army, being like, yes, of course, I am here for the order of hundreds of thousands of identical men. I'm here for this order. And it's funny because he literally I just paid more attention this time. I just paid more attention to the movie than I have in a long time this time. So whenever, Lama Su is like, would you like to see the army? And Obi-Wan kind of goes, that's why I'm here. Like, there's just like some subtle humor in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind about Attack of the Clones, because it's been 20 years. Your mind is probably made up already.
Mm-hmm.
But
just in case, just go watch it again.
Just go watch it again. It hurts nothing. It is a really long movie, though. It's like 2 hours and 22 minutes long.
Yeah. 2 hours and 20 minutes of beauty.
Well, and again, just watching, like, having read Republic Commando, or not all of it, but, being in the middle of True Colors for Bro Skywalkers right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as the Battle of Geonosis starts, I'm just like, I'm hearing Voda-On, the theme from Republic Commando in my head, and I'm just like, yes, Mandalorian. This is Mandalorian representation. Like, when I see the clone troopers, and then there's that commander that's like, General Windu, I've got five commando units at your disposal, and I'm like, Delta Squad, Deltas. Like, this is so cool. I don't know. Again, it's got a different. It's really, if you like, just paying more attention, and like Republic Commando have enriched that movie in ways that even like the Clone Wars TV show, either version, did not for me.
I have about 30 pages left of this Buffy book that I'm reading, and then I'm jumping into 000. So
yes, you got it. You're gonna like it so much more. Like, okay, it's a very different book than Hard Contact.
I'm ready. I'm ready for another book like Hard Contact emotionally and psychologically right now. So I think even if it was like Hard Contact, I'd be in a better headspace to enjoy that at this point in time.
Right.
So,
well, it's for those who don't know, Republic Commando is a series written by Karen Traviss. In a lot of ways, it's pretty hard military sci-fi. But also it has, I'm gonna say it has the best clone character development that we see anywhere.
Woof.
It does.
That's wow.
It does.
Wow.
And now, obviously,
you say that the year that Bad Batch season 2 is coming out.
Yep, I do. Bad Batch, I think honestly enough, I don't mean that it does it poorly, but I think Clone Wars does it the worst. But again, not that Clone Wars does it bad, but compared to like things like Republic Commando, that's top tier for me. Bad Batch does a great job. I watched a little bit of that today as well, but then my boss wanted to talk on Zoom, so I had to pause Bad Batch.
We watched the first 2 episodes at the library today.
That series is still, I mean, obviously it came out, well, happy 1 year anniversary, Bad Batch. The premiere was a year ago today. But now I'm watching season 1 again, kind of slowly. Just it's kind of my slowly ongoing Star Wars series. Holds up, still really good. I find myself still, it all still hits just right. But no, Bad Batch is probably my second favorite bit of clone development. And Clone Wars obviously has some really high points, but
for sure
overall.
But if we're thinking about averages,
and it's hard to compare again with Republic Commando, because we spend those books with the same 12 clones, all like 4 main ones, at least from what I understand, from what I know where I'm at. So it's like kind of unfair. It's like apples to oranges with Clone Wars in a way. But anyway, I think you're really going to like 000. I think you're going to be surprised at how much you like 000.
Good.
That's where I'm at with you in 000. Great. I know too. There's a fan project. I can't remember his name. If I remember, I'll link it in the show notes. I might have talked about it before. There is a fan who is creating on YouTube. He's creating audiobooks for the Republic Commando series. Ooh. He's in chapter 5. It's one of those things. It's very slow going, but because it's produced at a high level, so it's like it sounds really good. Not quite professional, or not quite Star Wars, the standard you're used to. Yeah, but like very, very good. He's like, I think, at chapter 5 of 000 right now. I think one of those things I'm keeping my eye on, because I wanna get it when it's fully out. Yeah. So if you're curious, it's on. I mean, it's all on YouTube. You can find it. What else is going on with you? Nice. I have a few collecting scores that I want to talk about a little bit, but I don't want to hog the podcast too much.
I think Queen's Hope, which I talked about a fair amount last week and already mentioned today, and almost started crying again. And Star Wars Day. I think that's pretty much it. I finally read the last issue of. Ooh, yeah.
There's.
I read the the last issue of. Oh, you should show the back though. Let me see the back. The back is so beautiful of Queen's Hope. I finished the last issue. Ugh, I love her so much.
I know.
The last issue of Trail of Shadows. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I'm woefully behind on comics.
Yeah. Whoa, what just happened? I think I only have one issue left of the High Republic ongoing. I read all of Adventures. I think I'm like an issue behind on every series at this point. So everything's going so well. I mean, every single series is great. I haven't started the new Obi-Wan comic yet, or the new Han Solo comic.
I haven't either. I picked that up last time I got my pulls.
Yeah.
When you say all of the ongoings are great right now, all the series, we kind of talked about this a little bit, I think. How do you feel about Darth Vader?
The
newest, right now, as it stands.
I'm enjoying it a lot because I guess slight spoilers, Sabe is there. So I think it might be the weakest of the Darth Vader ongoings so far. But I'm definitely screaming every time that Sabe is on the page. So
right.
That's where I'm at.
That's good. I felt like for a while there, it felt like there were just like a lot of flashbacks, especially through War of the Bounty Hunters. Bounty Hunter Wars is something different. Through War of the Bounty Hunters, it kind of felt like it didn't know what it was doing a little bit.
Darth Vader was definitely, I felt like, the weakest tie-in. It was the one that felt like it was retreading the story in the main series the most. There was stuff with what's his name, or what's the person that
Ochi.
Hunted thanks.
Ochi of Bastoon.
Ochi. That was not in the main ongoing, but I also don't care a whole lot about Ochi.
I gotta say, I feel like I want to like Ochi, and I don't dislike him. I feel like he is just Dr. Aphra, but worse. I feel like
less interesting. He's that character that is experiencing Darth Vader along with us, because we can't like be too inside of Darth Vader's head for too long because
right.
it destroys the mystery.
I think even then Ochi has that feeling of like he's got that same kind of personality, that like snarky, like, and it's just like I feel like if he was characterized differently, I feel like I'd like him more. I'd be more invested.
For sure.
Yeah,
I agree with that entirely. I'm not that interested. But the Vader and Sabe stuff, I'm so enthralled by.
Well, yeah, he's looking at the spitting image of his dead wife.
Yep. It's good. And like they have some really interesting interactions in Queen's Hope too that made it even more like to me. So
okay.
Yeah. I won't say that book's pretty new and you haven't seen it, so I won't say more about it, but
I'm reading a book right now, but you've made me. I'm going to pick up the comics tonight. I'm going to pick up comics and then I'm going to finish this book. Queen's Hope. It's next on my list.
Good.
It's next on my list. I'm gonna pick it up next. It's probably not that long to read either.
It's the shortest of the trilogy. It's not even 300
really?
pages, I don't think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really short.
Kind of a bummer, actually.
Yeah,
because I really enjoyed the first two a lot. I think they look. We talked about this a little bit. I think they look very nice on a shelf. The yellow, the purple, the pink, like all the colors are just very nice. They're really pleasing. Pretty. I actually don't know if they sit next to each other on the shelf chronologically.
They
don't.
I don't think they do. I'm trying to think. I think that there's something in between. I might be mistaken, but I think there's something in between Queen's Peril and Queen's Shadow.
I don't know what that would be.
Maybe
there might be. I'm not. I don't have everything in it. Especially if it's a YA thing or like a younger reader thing. Sorry, my cat's trying to get out. She can't. But if you hear her, she just wants to go outside. Cammy. She's not doing. You're not doing that.
Okay, no, I was backwards. Dooku Jedi Lost is in between Queen's Shadow and Queen's Hope.
No.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But you could, like, it has flashbacks. You could put it before them.
Ugh.
And it would also be accurate.
That's one of those things, though. It's like, I've got to make sure I'm doing that consistently across my entire shelf if I start doing crap like that. Which doesn't mean I won't do it, necessarily. I actually literally have what I'm going to do. I have a spreadsheet, right? I have a spreadsheet of my Star Wars collection books. It's hard to keep that updated. It's hard to keep that.
It is.
This actually might be harder to update my current plan, but I'm thinking of creating a literal SQL database with like all sorts of metadata about my books, about like, I guess I could do a spreadsheet too. I don't know, but something that keeps track of like the ISBN, like the edition, the publication year. Like I want granular data about my collection.
I think that sounds fun.
Well, it's because we're both librarians.
Yeah.
I bet there are listeners being like, what in the frick?
Why would you ever?
My brother in Christ, why would you do this?
I just checked my spreadsheet to see what was between, like, what was breaking up that trilogy. So, which cup are you drinking out of?
Oh,
I can tell
this is the Captain Tarples, I think. There's his
crotch. Okay, yeah.
You can see his
yeah, right. I don't think the others have crotches. So.
No, I don't think so either. I love that you recognize the cups that you... at the time you said that, too, I hadn't been to the recycling center in forever. Yeah. So I thought the things that literally just sat on the curb. I'm glad to know that they were on a shelf.
They were on a shelf.
I'm referring to the fact that a few years ago, Dakota was at the Monroe County Recycling Center, and people leave little... there's like a shelf for people to leave stuff that's like cool or stuff that other people might want.
Yeah.
And there were the Taco Bell Pizza Hut episode 1 character topper cups, which I can't even imagine. Like I'm at an age, I'm not even that old. Neither of us are that old, but I am at an age where I cannot imagine drinking this much soda.
Yeah, right.
Like they're giant, they're huge. But they came with like these giant vinyl character heads on top of them.
They're so nasty.
You can find images everywhere, but they're
Uh-huh.
a ton of fun.
Yep.
I actually don't know where mine are currently.
Mm.
I know I didn't get rid of them, but I don't know where they're at. Anyway, I love that you recognize that I am, in fact, using those cups. And
I clocked it.
I love to drink. I love to drink water out of them. There's just it's so much water. I don't have to get water like I get water like twice a day. But anyway,
this is my water bottle. It's big as my head.
It is. Anyway, I picked up a couple
Star Wars.
I picked up a cool couple of things here. We haven't even talked about the Kenobi trailer yet. Dear God.
We haven't. I still haven't watched it.
Can I say I love topicless episodes.
Yeah, it's always fun. We always have a great time.
Some of my favorites. But anyway, I think on this podcast, I have been kind of hard on half-price books in Bloomington in the past because it is just, I feel like they never have Star Wars stuff. And
they never have Star Wars stuff.
I'm so glad that we're in agreement on that.
They have shelves and shelves of Star Trek and never any Star Wars.
Truly upsetting. Okay, we have the same experience then.
And it's like, I don't understand why, because you go to Tennessee and you go to McKay and they have stacks and stacks of Star Wars books.
Cole talks about his half price books. He's got a circuit, I think, that he does whenever he's around them, and they've always got Star Wars stuff, and it's just like
frustrating.
It's like specifically this one. However, I was looking through the graphic novels as I do because ever since you picked up Star Wars Union from the that trade paperback from the library bookstore, I've become increasingly paranoid about missing a good Star Wars trade paperback.
I've gotten a couple at that half price books.
Exactly. So they are there.
They are,
I got
occasionally.
I was looking through them and I found a sealed hardcover of the Force Awakens comic adaptation. Dakota's drinking an entire bottle of wine in front of me.
I am. That's the rest of it in this glass.
God.
It would have all fit. It really all does fit in this glass. I just don't like to drink from a cup that is so full.
Jesus. But anyway, so I thought that was cool. Hardcover Force Awakens comic adaptation, which is nice because I think I only have issues 1 through 5 of that series because I was picking it up after it came out and Vintage Phoenix did not have them all. And it was like too late by that point to like say, hey, can you, it's never too late. They can order stuff, but like, just, I don't know, didn't want to special order it or anything. I figured I'd pick it up at some point. Turns out it was $5. Turns out that book is actually super cheap pretty much everywhere. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. If I had to guess, it's just because it's an adaptation. Like, I don't... Yeah. I mean, they literally just didn't do one for Rise of Skywalker. And I know whenever Austin was on for I guess that's a Patreon exclusive thing as it stands. So if you want to hear what Austin, one of a listener, friend of the show, said about this, you can sub to our Patreon, $1 a month. You get access to this episode, all the after hours. You get access to our Discord where everyone's hanging out, having a good time, talking about Star Wars. But on our unreleased episode, he said, or Patreon episode, he said that there was a hardcover. They collected the Last Jedi in hardcover, that adaptation. I think he said for might have been a couple others in hardcover. Then The Last Jedi was in paperback. And then they literally just did not release one for Rise of Skywalker.
Didn't even make one.
No. So,
but they are for The Mandalorian season 1. Interestingly.
That is a great point. that is a very interesting point, my friend. I never thought about it that way. So, great. Love that for us completionists. Love that. But anyway, so I found that, and that was fun. And that was the one thing I was going to get. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm definitely happy to have this. It got some awesome Phil Noto cover art. Cool. As I'm walking out, I look to my right. Oh, there's a case full of stuff that, like, they just clearly don't want people to shoplift. Stuff that's still, relatively cheap. But cooler stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, what did I see sitting in that case for $20? But this.
Yeah.
Star Wars Galaxies, An Empire Divided. I am no longer playing Star Wars Galaxies EMU illegally using pirated discs or ISOs, because now I have the discs.
You have the real discs.
And it's one of those things that it's like, this game is, for all intents and purposes, dead. I know there's a community that keeps it alive, and I know that community is vibrant. I know that I like to drop in and play that game every once in a while. I'm glad it exists, but it's like the community is what made that game, and it's kind of dead.
Yeah,
but they still had it locked off in the case. Like, it's like they still kind of knew what they had.
That's amazing.
They knew someone could very easily walk off with it, and I just, obviously being the collector that I am super thrilled to have this. Especially to have it for such a reasonable price. $20. I did not.
Oh, what?
Did not hesitate.
No. Why would you? Even if you never played the game, like.
Well, and it's just one of those things, and this will kind of lead me into maybe something I wanted to talk about a little tonight, before we get to the Kenobi trailer. We might talk about it at some point.
Still
I
haven't
don't know.
Watched.
I know. The longer we go without you watching it, the weirder it gets, and I love it. But I just, as a kid, I wanted nothing more than to play Star Wars Galaxies. I'm just like, this seems so freaking cool, but there's a monthly subscription, and my parents will never go for that. To be fair, I don't know that I ever asked for it, but
I don't think it was even ever on my radar. I didn't really I grew up in the middle of the woods, so I didn't really have internet. So it wouldn't have been an option anyway. But I don't think that's the thing that I knew existed.
I definitely knew it existed from like, I had some old Game Informers that I got from my cousin. So I know it popped up there. It popped up in just like I'd see it in Walmart and stuff, be like, oh, this is a Star Wars game that I don't have, and look on the back. Maybe at one point I did ask my parents, maybe at one point I was like, oh, can I get this? And they were like, no, there's a monthly fee to play it. But it was so unobtainable. It was one of those things. It's like, I will never have this. I will never play it. And then, it shut down before I even really, I was a senior in high school. Did I even really have the means to pay for the $15 a month subscription? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But, and then it shut down, and the Old Republic came out, and I started playing that, which I love that game too, but for different reasons. And it's one of those things. I don't always buy stuff purely on like nostalgia, or purely on, especially something that literally I can put it in my computer, but what does it do? It does nothing. I cannot play the game, because this will try to connect to whatever this installs. It will try to just connect to the servers that don't exist anymore. I can't do anything with them, but it's just, I don't know. It just feels nice to have them. It's like, I guess you could say that about pretty much all of our collecting, right? I just like to have it. I just think they're neat.
Yeah, do we just think they're neat?
But I do. It's just one of those things that's like, once I finally get like an office set up, I'd like to have them sitting out somewhere, just because it's like, I finally got them. I finally have them. So that was my big score from, I think it was yesterday that I picked those up. It was awesome. Very thrilled to have them. Don't think I've had any other major collection gets though recently. I think I talked about I got a hardcover from Thrift Books. I got the hardcover Dr. Aphra
nice
audio dramatization adaptation. I just love how ridiculous that is. It's a comic that gets adapted into a
radio drama that gets adapted
into a book. And I don't have
Pretty
Jedi
funny.
Lost. I think hardcovers of Jedi Lost are kind of hard to find now, which is a bummer. But
I think I have one of the two. I can't remember which one I have. No, I have Jedi Lost, because it's in between. Yeah, never mind.
It's one of the. It's funny because one of the few Star Wars books that Morgenstern's has is the paperback of Jedi Lost.
Oh,
and
yeah?
every time I'm in there, I'm just like, gosh, is now the time? But I think it's like, I want to say it's like $17.99 or something, and it's like, this is a paperback. That's the MSRP on the book. That is not a dig at our local bookstore. By the way, that is what it says on that is the cover price.
Yeah, I saw Tempest Runner today at the library because it's on the adult Star Wars display, and it is so thick.
It is. If you're watching the video, you can see it is.
It's hefty.
Massive. It is massive,
and it's like kind of tall too, right? Abnormally tall.
No, I don't think. No.
Oh no, it's normal tall.
It's normal size. It's normal size.
Okay.
No, I saw it too when I guess I was just in Walmart. I didn't know it had come out. I was in Walmart and I saw it and I was just like, that is gigantic. It's like let's see. I'm looking at page 550 right now. Probably in the neighborhood of like 565, 570 pages. Crazy. But yeah, Dr. Aphra is obviously much smaller, but I think, which is funny because I think Dr. Aphra is. We've talked about this. I feel like we've talked about this because I think we compared the lengths of these, and I think Eva looked at the lengths, and so I won't go down that rabbit hole again. There is another rabbit hole I think we should go down, though. I think it's probably finally time you watch the Kenobi trailer.
Yeah, I've had it pulled up since 8 o'clock.
Okay, so we're gonna do that thing where we're gonna pause the episode to watch this trailer. You, as the listener, will have a seamless experience in which I play the audio of the trailer. But we're going to have to do some syncing up till we watch the trailer at the same time. If you're watching the video,
right.
This video is going to get copyright striked. Because if you watch the video, I'm going to rip the trailer and I'm going to put it Or the last time I did that for the last trailer, we got copyright striked. And it's like,
oh, we did? I didn't even know that.
It's like, it just demonetizes the video. But it's like, what money? You know, I think since we have started posting to YouTube again, we are literally losing subscribers. If the dashboard says anything. So I think people subscribed a long time ago when Ash was making content because they were doing a lot with YouTube.
Oh yeah, they did a lot of YouTube stuff.
Yeah, and I think we got subs, and now that we're posting again, people are like, no, I'm not interested in this anymore.
Never mind.
You guys are still around. Never mind. So anyway, we are going to take a quick break, watch this new Kenobi trailer, and we'll see you on the other side. Okay, I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah, I haven't
just to watch it again.
So I'm ready to hit play whenever.
It's the first.
I really appreciate that it is only a minute and a half.
Yeah, it's great. Shit. All right, I'm at the very beginning.
Yeah, me too. I'm at 000.
Me too.
000.
Okay. Let's I'll count down.
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
I love it already. There's sand.
Oh man, you know I love it.
I know you do. Look at those stormtrooper butts. Oh.
His voice.
Oh,
Joel!
Oh my god!
So good. Pods?
What? What is that outfit?
I don't know.
Ooh!
I just can't even.
What?
Cannot believe it.
Oh, I'm dead. I've died. I've passed away.
Okay, we're back.
This show is gonna end me.
It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really good.
I'm really happy that they didn't I still have no idea about anything that's gonna happen.
No,
I know that. I guess the only thing that this new trailer confirmed is that we know that the Inquisitors specifically know that Obi-Wan is out there and are hunting him.
Yes.
Wow.
Which raises a lot of interesting questions to me. I wish our other two co-hosts were here because I feel like this is so ripe for speculation.
Yeah, for sure.
How does he get them off the trail? Because it seems to me that they're not going to find him on Tatooine. They're going to find if you ask me, my thought is he's going to get pulled off of Tatooine for one reason or another. And then they are going to find out that he's out there somewhere while he is somewhere else. And that way there's no way to tie it back to Tatooine, but he knows that he needs to get back. So that's kind of his tension. But he can't lead them back to Luke. Yeah. So, which of course leads to the big question of how's he going to get out of this one? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, we know he does, but
true.
I don't know. At least two of the Inquisitors that we see in the trailer, they don't die in Kenobi because they die in Rebels. Two of the three, right? So, I don't know. I have no idea how. Why do they stop hunting him? He must do something pretty sneaky, and I'm excited to see what it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of lost in thought right now, trying to figure it out myself. Granted, not that I want to figure it out, but it's it's here in this moment. Because go ahead.
No. I was just saying, I think it's going to be even though we know that they're not going to find Luke and they're not going to beat him, I'm still really invested and really excited to see how he does all of this.
And granted, it is a trailer, but at the same time, I think it bodes well for the show that we're looking at this from this perspective and being though this is exciting, this is good, even though we do know how it ends. We know where it ends up.
But it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
We're so excited for what's going to happen.
I have kind of, no matter what this rematch of the century is, I on principle, I don't like a physical showdown between the two of them. I don't. Because I feel like it's exploiting a loophole in the original dialogue.
I mean, to me, it's not even as annoying as Obi-Wan's dialogue about R2-D2. So, regardless of what happens, I think it's more easily explainable than Obi-Wan being I've never seen this droid in my life.
You are right. You are correct.
I think that hasn't even bothered me a bit because I know it's not going to reach that level for me.
We just have different priorities, but no. You're right. You're right. You have a valid point. I just I don't like it on principle, but at the same time, I'm not going to pretend that Obi-Wan and Vader on screen together is not going to be emotionally impactful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that
I
is
know.
not sick as hell. But then I was listening to another Star Wars podcast today. And it's actually their Book of Boba Fett kind of recap. It's a podcast I don't check. It's the Order 66 podcast. It's actually a Star Wars RPG podcast. But I check in on them every once in a while, and I go through a phase where I listen to a bunch of them in a row. But they were doing their Book of Boba Fett recap, and they were talking about it's from a few months ago. They hadn't seen any Kenobi stuff yet, I don't think. and they were talking about the potential for flashbacks. Now that Book of Boba Fett has had all these flashbacks, is like, are we going to get flashbacks in Kenobi? I would say likely.
Yeah.
And another point that they made is that Book of Boba Fett has shown us is if they can get a live action Ahsoka on screen, even if they don't have a reason to, they're going to. So I think she'll be there as well. I personally, for quite a few reasons, would like to see someone other than Rosario Dawson playing her. But it's like,
I feel like they'd have to. Like, she's too old.
She's too old.
She looks nothing at all. Yeah, like that Ahsoka. So if Ahsoka's there, it has to be someone else. Like, there's no way.
And I'd be very happy to see that, just because it's one of those things that I don't know.
And I think that flashbacks are pretty likely because, like, I mean, yeah, they should get Hayden Christensen back regardless, but it seems like it would seem odd if they got him specifically back to just have him in a mask the whole time.
To stick him in the suit, yeah.
So I feel like flashbacks are inevitable, and I am excited about flashbacks. I want some live action Clone Wars stuff. I think that'll be cool.
I hope they don't lean too heavily on flashbacks. I did like them in Book of Boba Fett, but I do feel that a lot of that series, it's a limited series. We know Kenobi is limited. We are not. Book of Boba Fett could conceivably have more.
If it's more than an episode, or like, unless it's like pieces of each episode. If they do the same thing with like, where it's like 2 episodes of the 6 episodes or flashbacks to the Clone Wars, I'm going to be a little annoyed about it, probably.
Oh, I will definitely be annoyed, and I'm going to be mad at it. I'm going to be like, Dave, get your sticky fingers out of everything. But I respect Deborah Chow as a director. Obviously, I respect Ewan McGregor as an actor. Hayden Christensen I don't even think the magnitude of the show has really settled in on me yet. And I think this is the first show I think that Star Wars has advertised as a limited event, like a limited series event.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really feel like they probably pulled out all the stops for this. It's less of a, well, and again, I feel like this probably grew out of some rumored plans for a Kenobi film at one point. And I feel like this has been kicking around for a while. So I don't know. I don't have any reason to believe that it's not going to do well. It's not going to be great. Yeah. But I'm very excited to see what it does. I think Joel Edgerton as Owen Lars is a fantastic bit of casting. George Lucas had the most, like, it was prescient.
That was the word I was thinking of too. If you didn't say prescient, I was gonna say it was prescient,
because he can do that. Like, he is aged just right. He maybe looks a little young, but like the makeup, like I feel like it's 100% believable that is Owen Lars. Yeah,
he looks great.
He did. Like you trained his father. That was so rude.
Brutal. It was brutal.
It's like, I don't even know if he knows. I don't think, I would be willing to bet that, not that Owen Lars is known for being a kind-hearted man. I would be willing to bet he doesn't even know how deep that cut to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I'd willing to bet that he just said something as like, he thought it was an offhanded thing, not like, I'm going to twist the knife in the wound of the brother that you left to die.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to see that dynamic too. And I'm just,
for sure,
personally, I'm just going to say it. I think every Star Wars fan that wants to leave Tatooine is a coward. But I do think that it bums me out. In an objective sense, I do understand. We have spent a lot of time there in in the last few years. I get it. I do
Good
get
little
it.
bit of time.
I don't understand, but I do get it. And it just kind of bugs me that we will probably only have a limited amount of interaction between Owen and Obi-Wan.
Probably.
Because that's, I mean, if we look at how they've built this show, like obviously they've put an Obi-Wan and Vader rematch of some kind in it. Like they are looking to have this be an action-driven show. But the Kenobi show in my mind's eye, my heart's eye, is he never leaves. It's the Kenobi novel, and it's like he talks to Owen, and Owen is like, "No, get away." And that's kind of in that we just see that repeated over and over again. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But,
and I wonder. I don't know. We get some of that in the Jason Aaron Star Wars comic. And I know that they don't like pay attention to those super closely, but part of me is but part of me is like, well, the show is gonna do something different than the comics, at least. Like that's the way I'm coping with it. I think
that's a good way to look at it. That's a good and I get, like I said, I get it. I understand people do not want Obi-Wan to just stay on Tatooine the whole time. I get it.
And if he did, I would like. I'm not saying I'd have a problem with that at all. But I also do trust that if he leaves, it will be for a good reason.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That
narratively and character-wise,
that is not something that maybe you could pull up the tapes, and I'm about to contradict myself, but I don't think that is something that I've ever been worried about, at least in a serious sense. Like if he leaves, there is going to be a believable reason for it.
Yeah. I don't think you've ever said that, so
okay,
you're fine.
Like,
you're fine.
Just
there's no tapes.
I don't know. It's starting to set in now. It's starting to set in. The show is real. The hype is real. I don't even know what to make of it, because it's just, I don't know what the story, like you said, we don't know what the
we
story
know nothing.
Is. We know nothing. It's not
the
like
trailers
Book of
are
Boba Fett,
great
where
for
it's
that.
like we'll probably see him get out of the Sarlacc pit. We'll see him do this. We'll see him get, like, we know nothing. This is Obi-Wan doing something 10 BBY. Like, that's all we know. So,
and that is extremely exciting to me.
It's funny too, because I feel like this series really serves to highlight the age difference between Luke and Han. Because it's like Luke is literally a child playing on top of his parents' house. And Han is like, I am working for a crime lord. Like two very different places temporally. But I don't know. I will say this is sacrilege.
Oh,
I hope the show does not do too much with Luke.
Yeah,
because he's just a kid. He's just.
Everyone expected that of you. So,
what, the hope that my favorite character's not in this show?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I guess that tracks, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh,
it
Ben,
really
you
does.
must want Luke to be in the show. No, actually, I don't.
No,
I don't. The show's not about him. I'm tired of him showing up everywhere. Also, going back to, sorry, I've got squirrel brain right now. Going back to Book of Boba Fett Disney Gallery, I saw the guy who was the Luke Skywalker like body double.
Yeah.
Like in the costume.
And
I'm hoping you feel the same way when you see him. They could have just used that guy.
Yeah.
I wish they had just used that guy.
Does he look just like him?
He doesn't look just like him, but it's very clearly supposed to be Luke Skywalker. And it's like, okay, if you're going to do a Luke series, you can cast Sebastian Stan. Cool. Like, that's all fine and good. Because he does look just like him. He is a proven actor. Like, this is fine. I just... I look at this guy and I'm like, it didn't have to be this weird, like, you didn't have to make me feel weird about it, but you did.
Mm-hmm.
It's even weirder too, knowing that Mark Hamill was like heavily involved with the performance.
Yeah.
It just kind of, in a weird way, makes it feel like more removed from him. Like, you're consulting on how the robot should. I don't know, because it's not quite that cut and dry. There's more to it than that. It's not as bad as I made it seem.
Yeah,
but anyway, Luke.
I
don't need too much of him in the Kenobi show. A little's fine, obviously, and a little is good. I do want to see him, but. He's just a kid. How important?
If we don't see any more than the shot that we get in the trailer, that's fine by me.
Actually, I agree. I think I do think it would serve to, obviously, like you said, they don't pay attention to the comics, so it'd be a long shot to get them to reenact. Because I know at one point in those Jason Aaron comics, Obi-Wan saves Owen. Is it from Chrysanthemum? Like,
I super don't remember.
Okay, but do you remember what I'm talking about? Where Obi-Wan saves Owen at one point, because there's a panel where Owen's getting the crap kicked out of him, and I remember that panel specifically. But Owen does the thing where he's just like, "Get away from us!" Like, I don't care that you just saved me. Get away from us. I think it would do well, even if they do something different, to have a scene like that.
Yeah,
maybe Owen and Luke are out and Obi-Wan protects them. Because I do think they need to set up,
acknowledge that that's what he's doing there. Like, remember everybody, he's here to watch out for Luke. Yeah,
and I think they need to establish that. I think Luke needs to see Obi-Wan being the wizard crazy old man.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that Luke has to have it instilled in him somehow that there's something different about
this
Ben
guy's. This guy's wacky. Yeah.
Right.
And we didn't even get that in the Kenobi novel, so I think that would be a great thing for them to throw in there for sure. I agree.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. I just want to see more Joel Edgerton. I think he's...
Yeah.
I thought he was so good.
Like,
that was literally what stood out to me the most, because that was the new bit of information. Because everything else is just like a cool shot, right? Maybe 4LOM is there? Or excuse me, 4LOM.
Don't.
I think it'd be fun if it was 4LOM. It doesn't have to be, but it'd be kind of one of those things where it's just like, IG-11, why isn't this IG-88? I'd feel that way about 4LOM, where it's like, why is this not 4LOM?
Yeah.
Why put him in the trailer? I don't know. So we'll see about that.
It's gotta be like, that's... I don't know. I won't. I don't think I'll accept that.
You'll just be like, actually,
no.
Actually,
that's 4LOM. You're wrong.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to get out about this trailer before we call it a night?
The whole time that we saw the Vader pieces, I was just like, Daddy. Sorry. That's all I have. I'm good now.
Very excited to see what these Inquisitors do.
Yeah, me too.
I never was particularly bothered by the Grand Inquisitor's appearance.
No,
but I do think he looked a little better in the shots that we saw here.
I thought so too. Yeah, he didn't bother me, but yeah, I thought he looked good in that one.
Right. It's like, it didn't bother me, but I can acknowledge what I can't understand where people are coming from who are bothered by it.
Yeah.
But no, I thought he looked good. I thought the rest of the show looked very good. But that's not shocking. The Star Wars TV shows have had a pretty high standard of visual fidelity. Oh, well, that's everything. This has been a very fun Star Wars Day episode, and I'm glad that you were available. I think so. I'm glad you were available to record this evening. Eva is sick, and Cole wasn't able to make it. So,
I'm glad we got to do this too. I was really worried because of all of my car issues, but this has been a delightful Star Wars day. I
mentioned Austin on this podcast already. I did shoot him a message and was like, "Are you around? Can you tag in? Can you tag in?" And unfortunately, he didn't. He messaged me back just a minute ago.
So,
he was not able to tag in. He couldn't have. So I'm extra glad we were able to do this.
Yeah.
Well, until next time, Dakota, where can people find you on the internet if they are interested in more of you?
If you, for some reason, would like to see more of me, I am on Instagram at Deviation of the Endless and Twitter at Endless Deviation with only one S. I also have a podcast at work that I appear on semi-regularly. This month, there's an episode going up about Star Wars, so check it out if you want to. That's pretty much it. I have Letterboxd, Spotify, whatever. If you want to follow me, I make things on those areas. You can find it somewhere, whatever.
As for me, I guess I forgot I don't do my own plug anymore because I don't do anything publicly. But you can request to follow Ferretlessly on Twitter. I won't promise to accept your follow, but you can. This podcast is on Twitter at SW Skyhoppers. You can email us skyhopperspodcast@gmail.com. I will spare everyone the Patreon plug because I already did it once. But patreon.com/Skyhoppers.
But it is a delight.
It is a delight. $1 a month. You get access to that Discord, and honestly, it's worth it for that alone. And as well as I'm hoping to turn into kind of a series that I'm not saying that regular listeners will never hear the episodes that we've recorded with Austin, but Eva and I had a really great chat with Austin about kind of collecting just Star Wars in general. It's like 2 hours long. So if you're really just looking for more Skyhoppers, that's where you can go. And like I said, odds are good you'll hear it for free eventually. But if you're looking for more, I'm trying to make that at least a monthly thing. And if you're craving more Skyhoppers content, patreon.com/Skyhoppers podcast. It's where you can get it all.
It's a good time.
It is. And I'm going to close this out with a text that I received while recording from,
nice.
I'll say friend of the pod, Miranda. She's the one that sent the hate mail a long time ago, many years ago.
Yeah.
When it was
I remember that.
She's texted me. It's kind of funny that it's called Star Wars because there isn't really much of a war, let alone several. And stars definitely aren't the focus of these wars.
Whatever,
Thank you.
Miranda. Get out of here.
Thank you for your input, Miranda. I will say, though, I was watching Attack of the Clones earlier, and I was really surprised. It's like, it is called Star Wars, and this is one of the only times that we see at the Battle of Geonosis. This is one of the only times we see open warfare.
We do on Naboo with the Gungans and
sure,
lots of space battles.
Well, I don't want to get too far into this, but I do feel space battles are in a different class than
for sure.
Ground warfare. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Ben has nothing else to add. This is the Skyhoppers podcast signing off.
I hate you.